deal.
And just on the question of an Iranian response, so in April, there was an attack on an Israeli attack on an Iranian diplomatic facility or consulate facility. I think at the time there was never a conclusion from the US whether it did count as a consulate facility or not. Now we've got an attack on Iranian territory. Do the Iranians have the right to self-defense in this case?
So I'm going to answer that question this way. The right is one question. What's productive is another. And ultimately, we don't think it's productive or conducive to anyone's interests, including Iran's, to conduct further actions, be they retaliatory or not. Any further action by Iran just raises the risk of increased tensions. It raises the risk of further response from Israel or from other parties, and ultimately gets us into this position that we have worried about from the beginning, that you get a conflict that can spiral out of control. Now, we are working to prevent that from happening, and I think the point that we are trying to make to all the parties involved is that they all have agency as well in trying to prevent that from becoming an eventuality. And so that requires all parties, including Iran, making the appropriate decisions in the days to come. And that means not taking steps that could lead to a wider conflict. I think it's incumbent upon them to make those types of decisions.
In the interest of consistency, though, wouldn't your message to the Israelis is this is not helpful, or that's the president's words? I guess people would expect you to maybe go a bit further than to say this is not helpful when you're making these kind of requests of the Iranians not to respond.
I mean, the president said that he didn't believe it was helpful, and the secretary said on Thursday that all parties should stop taking escalatory actions. And I don't think we could be any more clear than that.
Just a brief follow-up on Alex's line of questioning. At least one airline has said that they're going to avoid airspace over Iran and Iraq in the coming days. Is that advice that's come from the United States? Is there a security assessment for U.S. airlines in particular? I don't think it'd fly over Iran.
I would defer to the FAA to speak to that. It's not something that I'm aware of from here. So, yeah.